Streamcast.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everyone? It's another edition of the Streamcast. I'm your host, Blackamura, and we have been covering and interviewing various people in the gaming sphere, whether they be industry members, whether they be content creators, CEOs, but we've got someone very special today. Introducing one of my favorite people on the planet, leading one of the best podcasts out there, from the Nerd Council, it's Timi. What's going on, bro?
I'm one of your favorite people. I didn't know that. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's good, my guy? What's good? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. I'm very honored to have you on here, man. From one podcast host to another. Yeah, it's very cool to have this happen.
Long overdue. Long overdue.
Oh, for real. For those who do not know who you are, I don't know why that would be a thing, but could you talk a little bit about yourself?
Tell us sure. So my name is Timi, co-founder of the Nerd Council. We're a podcast, an online platform dedicated to all things nerd culture, gaming, comics, anime, TV, film. If it's nerdy, we cover it. We love it. We talk about it. Short and sweet.
I like that.
I've had a lot of practice.
I was gonna say
doing the elevator pitch. Trust me.
That was so concise. Excellent. And of course, you're a big time gamer.
I am indeed. Yes.
So let's get into that.
All right. Talk to me.
What's your first ever game that you remember playing and console?
Oh my gosh. So my first ever console was a PlayStation 1, and It was my uncle gifted it to me from America. So it could only play in black and white because that's how consoles worked back in the day. Yeah. So it was an American console. So when you plugged it into like the UK system, you want to call it that, it only played in black and white. And I remember the game that was on there was like this. Oh God, how to describe it? It was like a skateboarding, scooter type racing game, really like low res type stuff. But obviously, it's my first console, first game. I'm gonna play it like it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater freaking 3 and stuff, right? But I just remember it being like looking really low budget and just like, if I played it now, I would hate it. But back then, it was like the best thing ever to me, man. And obviously, because it's the PS1, that kind of like birthed my love for PlayStation to begin with as well. But yeah, that's definitely, I think it's my first one. Yeah, first game.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad that you got over the hurdle of playing in black and white because I would not have done.
Listen, as far as anyone else is concerned, I had a PS1. It was a PS1 Slim as well. It wasn't the clunky PS1. It was PS1 Slim. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I got PS1 Slim. I don't care if it's black and white.
Was it one of those nice rounded ones?
Yeah. So the original PS1 was like proper cinder block, like a massive.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
Yeah.
I was gifted one by a family friend who just didn't play games anymore because he had 2 daughters. So we were very blessed to just waste time on that PS1. I think we played like Formula 1 and Simpsons Wrestling, like very, very much games that if we played nowadays, straight 1 out of 10s. But back then, it blew our minds.
Do you remember when PlayStation Magazine used to drop like demo discs?
Yes. Yeah. So I didn't get mine from PlayStation Mag. I think I got mine from Games Master or something. But I got...
Sounds familiar, yeah.
I got PS2 demos. I remember that. And man, that was so cool. I can't believe they don't do that nowadays. I love that.
That was such a great concept.
Yeah, try before you buy. Like, these games costing £90 anyway nowadays. We might as well get a good run. So we talked about your first ever game. Let's get into your favorite games. Those top 5. Do you have a top 5 games?
It's such a hard thing to do because it's like I love a lot of games. And I've played a lot of games. So, okay, offhand, no particular order. God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Because I'm still playing it.
No spoilers, I promise. No spoilers.
Okay.
God of War Ragnarok is easily one of the best story-driven games I've played in a very, 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 very long time. Just because, obviously, off the back of the first God of War game, the way it kind of like rounds up another chapter in Kratos' life. And as someone who's played, God of War since the first game to now, it's a massive journey that it's been on, and it was just an incredible game to play and to experience. Kingdom Hearts 2 is always going to have love in my heart. That was like that game changed gaming for me 100%. I always speak about this because that was the first time I experienced a really intense story in a game where I got emotionally invested in a game, in a franchise, like never before. Like, usually you play games past the time, but Kingdom Hearts 2 taught me stuff as well. I was 100% like taught me stuff. What other games are there? The Last of Us, again. Okay. I'm really into story-driven games. I really love the story. So The Last of Us, 1, two was great, but 1 is just,
yeah. There's something about that first one sometimes.
Yeah, you just can't beat it. And then I guess for the last 2, God, I want to say Fable 2.
Oh, okay.
Fable 2, yeah. Again, story. Love me good story. And I'm going to say Pokemon Crystal.
Okay.
That was the first Pokemon game that I owned. Not played, but owned. And that was the first time I was like, I'm gonna catch them all. Never caught them all, but I did catch them all. I tried anyway. But Pokemon Crystal was definitely one of the best Pokemon games that they've made in the franchise. So it definitely goes up there.
Wow. I like your list because although they're all story based, they're very different. Like, you got the Xbox's Fable, you got Nintendo's Pokemon, you got PlayStation's God of War and Last of Us.
Got to diversify a little bit.
Exactly.
Not all PlayStation. Yeah.
I like that. And of course, Ragnarok is on course from being my favorite game of all time, beating the previous God of War, which is currently my favorite, because I love stories in games now too. And the way they've incorporated the story into the gaming elements is just this is so cool. It completely immerses me into this experience, into this universe, and it makes me not want to put the game down. 100%. And those days are almost very gone for me.
I completed God of War Ragnarok in 3 days. Like,
wow,
3 days it completely took me to finish the game, and I hated myself for finishing that quickly. But at the same time, I was like, it took me 3 days to complete, and then 4 days to platinum.
4 days on top, or a 4th day?
No. So an additional day on top of the 3 days.
Jeez,
I was so I had no time for anything else. It was just me and God of War, man. Like, it got me from like the trailer. Like, I was like, I'm finishing this game.
What's your secret? I need to know, because it's...
I don't know, but it took me like total of what, 45 hours to do everything. So a lot of it was finishing work, playing during my lunchtime. So I work from home.
Nice.
Not getting a lot of sleep because I was playing God of War. I was just invested. I was mad invested. But it's worth it.
I'm so proud, and I'm also so jealous at the same time, because I want that to be me. I wish I finished Ragnarok in 3 days, but man, with all the content demands and everything, like, ever since I started doing this, I've had no time to play games, and no one ever explains that to you.
They don't. So when you do find the time, you just kind of like double down on it. Like, honestly,
I want to go into your other choices as well. Kingdom Hearts 2. I've heard everyone that loves Kingdom Hearts as a franchise has very nice things to say about Kingdom Hearts 2, and they have nice things to say about Kingdom Hearts 1. What do you have to say about Kingdom Hearts 3?
So Kingdom Hearts 3, the issue I have with Kingdom Hearts 3 is that they tried to make it a game where anyone who hasn't played the previous games or knows of the franchise can kind of just jump in and join the party, as it were. And I feel like that was their mistake. They should have stayed true to the fans who have been dedicated to the story from the beginning in terms of gameplay, combat, and even like the story a little bit. Just like give us what we've been asking for. And also on top of that, it's the fact that there's going to be even more games coming out now. Kind of felt like Kingdom Hearts 3 should have been like the bow on top of the present on the box. It should have been the final chapter in like the saga, you know, giving us things that we got from like the previous games and stuff. Don't get me wrong, it's a great game, for like really truly a great game. But when you compare it to like 2, 1, Birth by Sleep on PSP, and then just how some of the game elements are very gimmicky and didn't belong to be there, it's like you're bringing it down significantly from what it should be. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I platinumed it recently. I love your platinum. Listen. Yeah. So one thing about me is that if I can go for the platinum trophy, I'm getting the platinum trophy. It's just there's something about owning platinums that I just love to do. And
my God,
yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm a bit of a completionist. I won't lie to you.
Yeah,
I'm all for it.
It's the favorite pointless thing that I love to do because they don't do anything. They don't mean anything, but there's something bragging rights. Yeah.
They look good.
Look, I would need to play this game again. I platted this. Look. Yeah, there's something about that.
But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 was an experience. I'll say that much. But like I enjoyed it. It's just like, okay, for example, they've got the whole like Disney attraction rides as like a tax. And I'm like,
wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. Teacups. As an attack. Nah, I'm sorry, man. You can't be doing that. You can't. So that option got disabled right away because I can't do
that was optional. Okay, that's fair.
Well, yeah, there's ways to turn it off, but I don't think everyone realized that. So you've also got this game mechanic. It's kind of there. Nah, what's the gimmick? But yeah, good game. I enjoyed it.
Feels like when someone too commercial gets involved in the game development.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, Disney were all over that, man. I don't know whether it was promotion or whatever, but Disney were all over that. They really
just let the devs do their magic, man.
Right.
Also Fable 2, as I grew up similar to you, big PlayStation guy. I had the Dreamcast first, and then PS1, PS2, PS3. My brother had the PSP, PS4, PS5. I've never really touched Xbox like that. So can you, I guess, tell me what it was about Fable 2 that, you know, has got it in your top 5?
So Fable 2 was again one of those it's a very heavy story-driven game. And I think for me, it was one of those things where I was very much into the combat, the lore, progression, all of like the morality factor of it. Well, I think it was one of the first games I played that had like a morality element to it, where the world around you changes depending on how good you are, how bad you are, even your appearance changes too. And I think that was what for me was what I was really investing in. Of course, also magic. Who doesn't have magic, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Fable 2 world itself was amazing to experience early on in my gaming life, as it were.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. I mean, like, it also took a break from like other games I was playing at the time. So like, I think those times like the Spider-Man was out there, a couple of the X-Men games. It just felt very different to everything else I was playing at the time. So yeah, it was a great experience. But having said that, I've not played Fable 3. That's still on my bucket list of things to do. And obviously we've got the new Fable game that's coming out. I think it said 2020. Well, it said TBC, but I'm assuming 2024 or 2025 will probably be like a mistake for it. I know people are waiting for that, but yeah, Fable 2 was solid, man. Like, really solid gaming experience.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And you've seen that morality system in gaming kind of work in other places like Infamous, which is a great example.
See, I was going to say Infamous on my list, but I wasn't like, it's there, but it's not like, it's like top 10.
You know what? You are exactly right.
It's
you
like
are
top
100.
10, not top 5.
Yeah.
Top 10.
It's a very good game, but there are just better games out there.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it is.
You get it.
Yeah. I know that you're one of those intelligent people that understands the brilliance of Last of Us Part 2. I
do. Phenomenal game. Brilliant game.
So what is it exactly that Part 1 does better? Or is it just sometimes like Hangover, right? It's the same film like 3 times, but the first one is always like, that's good. Hangover 2 is just like, is it like that?
I think the first game had more of an emotional payoff than the second game did. Because obviously the first game, you're going on this journey of bringing Ellie to the Fireflies to, find the cure. I mean, if no one's played the game and you're watching the series, you might want to. But anyway, you get to the point of like, bringing Ellie to the Fireflies. You feel like things are just going to round up nicely. Maybe a couple of clickers, you defeat them, and you're going to be done. But now it's like, okay, well, they now want to kill Ellie, and you're like, what do you mean? I've been playing this game for 30 plus hours, and now you're going to tell me they're going to kill Ellie? Nah. I'm burning this place down. I'm killing everyone, and I think it's also like Ellie's kind of realization that you killed everyone to save her, when she, in a way, made peace with the fact that they might need to kill her to save the entire world. You're just like, raw. Like, this game is just like, is this what we're doing? Like, we're really doing it? Okay, fine, all right. And then obviously part 2 is like ties up loose ends, and you play as Ellie and Abby and everything else. And those are great stories, and there's a great combat in that. Like, there's the Rat King fight, which is probably one of the best, boss fights in the game of experience. Ridiculous fight.
Honestly, the scariest boss I've ever fought.
Oh my god. Especially because it comes out of nowhere. Like, your money, your business. It's like, hello, I'm here, right?
Splinters off. Right. I had to, take a 5-minute breather on stream because that was mad. My heart was.
Oh no, I had a panic attack. I won't ask you. No joke. I had a full panic attack.
I'm sure the mic could hear the heartbeat going. It was unreal. Pokemon Crystal. I personally missed out on 2nd gen because just the way it was. Nintendo came into my life a bit later. Would you be up for a Crystal remake if they haven't done one already?
Well, I mean, they've done remakes of Gold and Silver, right? So that kind of is like a remake of like Crystal, because Crystal was like the 3rd game in that kind of series. So I don't know. I think Crystal was kind of like one of the special ones, like Crystal, Platinum, X and Y, very special Pokemon games, and they kind of like doubled down on the nonsense. I think after that, for me, like this new one, like Violet and Scarlet, I'm not as invested as I thought I would be. Like, I thought I'd be all over it, but I haven't even got past the 2nd gym. I've done the first one, and normally I would have cleared at the Elite Four by now. I'm not even like, I don't know, man. Pokemon's just going in a certain way where I don't really like it.
You know what? I completely hear you, because I dropped it, and I don't know if you remember this bit. There was like 4 or 5 cutscenes back to back when you've just like landed in the school.
Yeah,
I'm just like, what is going on? It's Pokemon. What do I need to learn at this point? Just give me my damn starter and let me go out in there. Look, I'll learn things as I go. That was just so off-putting.
I've always said that the best Pokemon game that they could make, right, is a game where you can give me your star Pokemon, you do the Elite Four, do all the gyms, and then at the end of that, it's like, all right, cool. Now you can either be a gym leader, or one of the Elite Four, or a trainer, whatever you want to do, and it's almost like a career path type thing, right?
Yeah.
And with all the exploration of like Pokemon Arceus and all that kind of stuff, but just add another element to the game where we're doing more than just like catching Pokemon and
the formula,
right? Like, I just need more from the franchise, man. Like, at this point, they've expunged. Like, there's 1,000 Pokemon now. 1,000. Do you remember the days of there was just like 150? There's now 1,000, and we're still getting the kind of like the same repetitive stuff from Nintendo and Game Freak with this game. I don't know, I'm not impressed anymore. I'm not.
It's a really weird one, because it's amazing how well Pokemon has performed. I don't know if they're like the greatest gaming franchise in terms of sales, but they're up there. But as you said, you gave 2 examples of games that could work as standalone games. Like, Pokemon can experiment for the next 3 or 4 decades without having to worry about success, or anything like that.
Right.
There's so many fan games that just give Pokemon a 3rd dimension. Like the gym leader one that you said that exists. Pokemon just needs to, license that and put, the effort into that. You could have so much fun. You could have one where you are actually the bad guy. And I know they're afraid of that. I know they're afraid of that because of certain things, but you could always set it in a way that okay, maybe this is for more adult players. Maybe this new Scarlet and Violet is for newbies. There is so much depth in Pokemon that they've yet to uncover.
Yeah.
But they keep doing the safe route. Every time they go outside of the wheelhouse, or they come up with a Pokemon Conquest or a Colosseum, it does really well. And those are the games that keep getting brought up by the fans 5, 10, 15 years later. I don't know.
No one knows at this point, man. No one knows at this point. Like, I've been playing Pokemon for nearly 20 years, and I don't know at this point. Like, it's like, where'd you go after 1,000 Pokemon?
Right.
Like, where'd you actually go?
It's just gonna keep going. Honestly.
You can't though. Like, you need to just be like, okay, we've got like a nice Rolodex of Pokemon. Let's switch things up. Like, I really like the idea you brought up about like being like the villain. So, like, joining Team Rocket would be so lit.
So cool. Exactly. That way, you don't start off with any Pokemon because you have to steal all the Pokemon.
Right.
You have to earn.
That would be so sick. And just be like, here's the Pokemon. Become the next elements. Giovanni. Wait, listen, I'll buy that game now. That would be so sick.
It would be so cool.
And then, like, the protagonist is coming after you and you have to battle them. That would be so sick. Come on. Oh, slap.
They are the Gary. They keep coming back stronger and stronger.
Right. Or you become Professor Oak out here doing Pokemon. Like,
exactly.
Well, that's kind of Pokemon Arceus, kind of. But, like, still.
Yeah, but like with each sequel, you can kind of have it all interconnect, and maybe you become the champion in Gen X, and then X+1 you become the professor, and X+2 you become the mob boss because you're tired of these kids messing around with these Pokemon, not valuing hard work.
Right. You know, bun these kids, man.
Exactly. Word to MJ.
Your business. Like...
Oh man. Before we get on with the rest of the podcast, I'd just like to give a special shout out to Spilt Milk Studios for their support over on Patreon. To find out how you can get a shout out just like them, make sure to go to patreon.com/streamcast for more. Let's shift the focus from gaming to you, Timi, the leader. Is it fair to say the leader of the Nerd Council?
Yeah. I'm out co-founded it, but I run the thing.
I see your face everywhere. The face that runs the place. Let's get into your origin story. What kickstarted the Nerd Council?
So this was like early 2013, 2014. We were like in a DM, like wanting to start the podcast early. Brainstorming names, didn't really get anywhere with it. And then obviously like the quote unquote podcast boom came along, and there was like other podcasts, Mercy Lit, Millennials, Josh's Tequila, all these kind of podcasts that blew up within the space. And we're like, okay, well, maybe it's time to start our podcast. We couldn't think of a name, brainstormed for ages. Then we came up with the Nerd Council, kind of stuck. And from like the first episode, it was just us kind of like trying to find a structure and build a podcast that we wanted people to engage with. And one of the core things I wanted from the podcast was that just being able to have a space where people who like the stuff that we liked could come together to talk about it in a healthy manner. And at the core, that's always going to be community. Everything I do is always about building community. So when the podcast kind of grew more, I was like, we need to start doing other stuff in other avenues. So events, content creation, gaming, YouTube, all shebang. And it's kind of just going from there, where we're now, doing brand deals and partnerships and being on billboards, thank God for that kind of stuff.
That
and
was so wavy.
I love my life. But I'm always thinking that we can always do more, because I'm always trying to push for us to do more and to be more and to be, more, how do I put this? I just know what we're capable of, especially with what we've done so far. Like we've barely covered a little bit of what we like of our potential, in my opinion. And it's just about growing the brand, the community as much as possible to get to a point where it can almost exist on its own without like the massive push that we're pushing at the moment. Yeah, man, it's kind of like my baby at this point. Like, I've given 7 years of my life to the Nerd Council at this point, and I wouldn't change a single one. I've learned a lot. We've grown a lot. I've met some incredible people because of it. Had some incredible opportunities because of it. It's just great to be able to have community and be able to have a space where people can come to you because there's similar interests, or be able to have a space where people can come together and talk about things and interact with other people and interact with your content and all those kind of things. It's just, I think a lot of people are missing community when it comes to this whole content creation thing. Like, it's so fundamental. It doesn't matter how many subs you got, doesn't matter how many people, are buying your subs or this, that, and the other, how many, like, where's your community at the end of the day? Like, who are the people that are riding out for you, who are chatting up your name, not because of like, you got X amount of subs, but like are really riding for you, right? That's what I've always been about. Like, I know a lot of people in my community by name. May not have met them, but I know them by name. Whether that's because of a Twitch interaction, or from the YouTube comments, or from IRL events, or from online events, it's important to have community. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents in it. I don't know.
Yo, no. That was a lot of knowledge dropped. And the more you were speaking, the more I was like, yeah. No, it goes to show like where all the successes come from. It's not an accident. This is planned.
It's planned.
Yeah, you definitely know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's just, this is exactly why I was like, yeah, Timi needs to be on the podcast, because he just gets it. It's almost a mirror of what we see ourselves as well when it comes to the content creation. We're always thinking more than just the content. We're always thinking about the people and the relationships that we develop and grow with the people that really roll with us. And that community thing is the thing that you said that I was like, yeah, because there's not many brands or content creators that get it. Just being genuine, caring about people that support you, and giving back. And that's something we've always tried to do, and that's something that we're gonna try and explore as well. But yeah, I mean, the Nerd Council are one of, I would say, the juggernauts that really showed me that there is space, there is the opportunity for a UK gaming podcast or a nerd culture podcast to be successful. So yeah, man, shout out to you, man, having the brainchild. And after a certain amount of years, it does become your baby.
It has to be,
everything,
right?
yeah. It becomes a business at the end of the day. Yeah,
like you put so much of yourself into this kind of thing, and it's like, going from just being a podcast to being like a whole brand is a big step. It's a big leap, and and again, nothing I would change or I regret, but it's a lot. There are some times where it's hard. There have been some months when it's been hard, and once you come out the other side of that and you just get back into it, it's like, yeah, I understand why I'm doing it. And more so, I'm not really doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my community. I'm doing it for the community that we've been growing again for 7 damn years. Like, it's been a very, very long time. And again, there's been highs and lows, there's been dips, and troughs and valleys and stuff like that. But like, again, I don't regret a single day, minute, hour, or second. So if I could do all over again, I'll do it all over again. But yeah.
That's good, man. I think that's when you know that you are in the right place, when you would do all of it again. So you didn't know the other members before?
We used to talk on Twitter a lot. Twitter was where like everything kind of started. So we talk on Twitter a lot.
Okay.
So myself, Ludo, Ryan, and Imran, who's one of the original members of the podcast, we talk about, comics and stuff a lot on Twitter. And because in those days of Twitter, a lot of people were finding other people who liked the kind of stuff they looked about. So like, whether it was games, comics, anime, like the kind of really niche, geeky stuff that we used to speak about in like the playground. But now that you've got like the entire internet wanting to talk to you about it. So when that kind of kicked off, it was like, why not start a podcast? Why not, voice our opinions about, Naruto and the Spider-Man franchise and Marvel and this kind of thing. And it's like, and because we're all very different personalities as well, and we all have very different opinions and stuff as well. That's what allows the podcast to not sound almost like an echo chamber.
Yeah.
And one thing I've always appreciated about the community is that when there's certain topics, obviously, like everyone's an expert in a sense on certain topics, but when there's certain things said on the podcast that are just like kind of like out of pocket. They know exactly who it's come from and why. Or if there's a certain topic we're going to talk about that week, they know exactly, you know, if it's Star Wars related, we know like Imran's going to have some wild take. If it's DC related, you know, Ryan's going to defend Batman to the death, to the teeth, you know. I'm going to come up with something contrived and out of our pocket and, you know, just, you know, flip the table for no reason, but it's my opinion. I'm going to stand by it. Like, it's like we're just a bunch of guys who just, you know, love nerd stuff, and it's grown and changed since, you know, 7 years ago. Now we've got Joey on the podcast. We've got an amazing videographer and editor, Roshin, who helps behind the scenes. We've now got the stream team. I've got a whole bunch of people that help us out for events and stuff. Like I'm all about just growing constantly. And yes, I've been on you know, at the forefront of a lot of the face stuff because I have such a beautiful face. Obviously, I'm gonna do that. but it's just because it's been a case of like, because I've always been able to do things, not that people haven't been able to do them. I've just been able to get to a point where, you know, I can record a YouTube video, you know, before or after work, and then get that edited and post it up, or I can go to this event or go to that event or go to this meeting, go to that meeting. I've just been able to put myself in positions where I want to put the brand in a place where people are engaging with us and wanting to work with us and, you know, that kind of thing. It's, again, like I said, it's been a mad journey for the last 7 years, and let's see what happens in the next 7. Like, I don't plan to stop anytime soon. That's the one to do. Like,
that's good.
So
I remember one time, I think it might have been you, tweeted, Timmy's leaving the nerd counts. I was like, oh shit, what's going on here? Like, oh crap.
I was surprised because a friend of mine got hold of my phone and put the tweet out. I didn't know. My phone was blowing up. I was like, what? Why? What happened? Who did what? I'm not leaving. I promise I'm not. But at the same time, it's that kind of thing that shows that, you know, people value not only myself, but value what we've been doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, just to have that kind of mad response from people being like, why, you know, are you quote unquote leaving? If anything, encourages me to do more and want to do more and not leave. Like I said, like, I'm going to be doing this for another 7 years probably. I don't know. But I hope in 7 years, it'll be like even more elevated than what it is now. Like, I would love to have like a Nerd Council podcast network where there's a whole bunch of different podcasts that are under our banner. I would love for us to, you know, do more live events and bring back the quiz nights that we always love doing, and movie screenings and gaming tournaments and talks and discussions and debates. Like, oh, there's so much I want to do with the brand and so much that we have done already. And that's what's always surprising me, that we've done so much, you know, in the space of like 6-7 years. And it's like, we can always do more. It's never not enough to do. Like, it's crazy.
I think that's the number one thing to prevent your brand from getting stale and stagnant as well. Just keep evolving. When you say that you've only been going for 7 years, it's kind of mad because you have achieved a lot. And I mean, I hope it's stuff that you're always like remembering. Like the quiz night, I remember that was so sick. The movie screenings, amazing. The deals that you've got with, I think, Elgato, Funko Europe, like, you've achieved so much in such a short time, relatively. So yeah, you should really be proud of yourselves, and especially you, because I know you're out there. You work hard.
I'm pounding the pavement. I'm pounding the pavement.
So sick. Do you have any pieces of content or work or event that you are very proud of or notable?
I'm always going to hold the quiz night to high regard, because the quiz night was the first time we brought the online community offline, and a lot of people met each other for the first time or met us for the first time. And like, the first quiz that we held was in like a little dingy pub, had about like, I think 30 people turned up.
Hey, that's not. Hey, 30 people was a lot.
Like, 30 people was a lot of people, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you're striving for you're striving for the big numbers in it. But it was like location, whatever it is, that was a contributing factor, blah blah blah, whatever. And you know, we've grown the quiz night from, you know, that dingy pub to being able to host it at Twitter HQ. Like, that's not a small feat. That came from relationship building, growing the brand, being able to position the brand in such a way that people see the value in us. Like the infamous phrase that comes from Stephanie Saga, impact over numbers. Like, it's that impact that we've got that allows us to put us in positions where, you know, we can take over Twitter HQ and they're asking us to do another one. Granted, this was like before the pandemic, and this was also before Elon Musk, you know, messed up things. But of course, that Twitter specifically as well is something that I really hold very dear to my heart. I guess in terms of like digital content, I really do love like the reviews I do for stuff. Those are always going to be special to me because I always try and change up the way I do things and change the way I edit. And I'm always practicing my editing skills. I may not be like the best editor ever, but I know that, you know, I want to try different things, this overlay or that transition or, you know, that type of thing. And being on the billboard for Elgato was ridiculous, like ridiculous. Because I remember them sending us the message that, oh, we want you to be part of this, like, you know, shoot that we're doing. There's a whole concept. There's a storyboard. And I was like, right, it's a storyboard. Like, what do you mean, the storyboard? I remember arriving on set that day. I was like, cameras everywhere, and lights, and you know, there was a camera hanging up from like this massive, like 30-40 foot crane. It was like what's going on? And then to see the end product and to see that the love it received, like, I'm always gonna be thankful to like brands like Elgato that see us, you know, for what we do. And yeah, being on that billboard was crazy, man. Just being anywhere is crazy. Let's not even start there. Like, being anywhere, being in a position where people are seeing you in a different light is crazy. But to be on a billboard in Times Square was on it was actually my bucket list.
Really?
It was on my bucket list for 2021. Didn't happen. Whatever. 2022 happened. Great. But it was actually on my bucket list. But unforgettable, man. Unforgettable.
There you go. Manifesting.
Manifesting, yes. Manifesting. Maybe not crystals, but manifesting, definitely.
Do you have any goals that you are willing to share that you are going to manifest now?
Goals for this year, more events. I want us back to putting on IRL events.
The events I've been to of yours have been amazing. They've been run so professionally, so well. It's just felt like a big time thing. So yeah, I can't wait to see what you give us in 2023. Now that, you know, these companies have had a couple years to save budgets and stuff like that.
Listen, there's always a budget.
There's always a budget. Where's the?
I tell you, every time.
Oh. I did want to ask about the origin of the Nerd Council name. Was that just something that was just said? Does it come from anywhere? Or? We
were brainstorming names for days. Like, we had all sorts. It was going to be called like the Allegiance at one point.
Oh my god.
What were some other names that we had? The Nerd Brigade. Geek something. Like, there was a whole bunch of names in that. I wish I still had that old account. Like, I would have pulled up the DMs right now. It was we had all sorts in that like, we were brainstorming for days and days and days and days. And like, I don't know who actually came up with the Nerd Council. It might have been Ludo. Maybe. It might be Ludo or Imran, I'm not sure, but one of them two. And I think I remember hearing it for the first time. I was like, yeah, that's it. That's the name that's the name that's gonna put us out there. That's the name we're gonna grow off, 100%. But yeah, it was a lot of brainstorming, man. Lots.
I mean, that's how it goes, isn't it? Coming up with a name. Oh my!
It's not easy, you know.
It's not easy really at all. Isn't. But there is a certain kind of catchiness to the Nerd Council. It sounds right. It's the ear right.
Yeah, rolls off the tongue nicely. You know?
Yeah. I can't have you on here and not talk about possibly the greatest podcast theme song of all time. Where does that come from? I love it so much. Sometimes I repeat the theme song so much.
No, you don't.
I do. I love it. It's so good.
We got a producer to make that.
Okay.
Very early on in our kind of building of the brand and stuff. So obviously, like, so when it came to like the brand's early like building and stuff, Imran was an artist, so he created all the cover art we had up to a point. I worked in like marketing and stuff, so I tried to do all the socials. But then we need a theme song, like we need a theme tune, and we had this. I can't remember the producer's name, but he made us like a whole like 3-minute track. Like there's like a bridge. Like the full version has like a bridge. There's like an intro. There's like you don't even know the full, yeah. So when we heard it, we're like, yeah, okay, we can use this. And obviously we took off like the 30-second or the 10-second bit, and we've used that since. But yeah, I can't remember. I'll try and find the producer's name because normally I put him in the credits in the back end when we uploaded to SoundCloud and stuff. But yeah, that was a whole producer. I can't remember his name. From someone found on Twitter. So definitely wasn't me. I wasn't out here on Fruity Loops. Nah. But yeah, do you know what's funny? Because I was actually thinking that maybe we need a new theme song. But do you know what? I'm gonna leave it. Clearly the people vibe to it. I'm gonna leave it.
I feel like there's a different mentality in the West and the East when it comes to theme songs, and this might just be me being weird. But when I watch anime, they tend to change up the songs season by season, right?
Yeah.
So like Attack on Titan, Death Note, all of the kind of modern stuff. But like with the West, when it comes to stuff like The Walking Dead, Supernatural, stuff like that, they never really change the theme song. Like the video package might change, but the sound never changes. And I'm definitely more inclined with the Western style of thinking because it's almost is it Pavlovian, where you associate the sound with the content that you're about to see. Yeah. So I if you're asking me, I think you should keep that theme song forever.
You're right, because like you have everything has like a theme song, as it were, right? It's a very Western idea to have like a theme song, and it sticks. Like to this day, we all know like the Friends theme song, like
exactly. Those guys are getting paid off of that song still. They don't have to make another song in their lives.
Yeah, them claps were like the best thing they ever invented, man. Like they're making money off that. So yeah,
Mariah Carey never needs to make another song again. But I honestly love that song. So my next question is: are we getting that full song on Spotify? Because I didn't even know there was a 3-minute tune.
Do you know
I want it on Spotify.
I'm gonna find the file, right? And do you know what I'll do? I'm just gonna drop it on SoundCloud on our account and do what needs to be done. I'll do you know what? First and foremost, I'll actually find the producer first, make sure I get some permissions and stuff like that. But I'll put the full one out if you don't really want to hear it.
I want it when I'm working out. It's so good when I'm working out. I need superhero music.
It's all right.
Let's see. It's dope. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about one of your latest episodes, the Amazing Cartoon Network tiered episode.
Yes.
Now I listened to it as soon as it came out, so I can't remember everything. One thing I do remember was the Samurai Jack discourse. You've never watched Samurai Jack?
It's not that I haven't watched Samurai Jack. It's just that like it just wasn't like it wasn't for me at the time. At the time, it wasn't for me. Like I get the appeal, everyone loves it, and Jack wasn't amazing, and him and Aku had beef, and he had a thick theme song that William wrote, and it was dope. Don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on it. I just wasn't watching it. I was watching Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and Cow and Chicken and everything else that came on at the time. Like it just wasn't like my focal point. And also because the way on Cartoon Network things aren't done in like chronological order, they just kind of like dump it at you and like that's it. I couldn't. There was no chronological order for Samurai Jack for me, so I couldn't really follow the story too tough.
Yeah,
there was some great episodes, but I just couldn't really follow the story. So maybe I need to rewatch it now, where I can watch it in order. But
I would say so. I would recommend it. I definitely get that about the other stuff being offered on Cartoon Network at the time. I think for me, I was very much the other way because I saw Pokemon. And then I saw Dragon Ball Z very soon after. So I was like, I like this dark, more adult approach to storytelling where everything's told through combat. Grew up watching like martial arts film as well. So all of that darker anime, storytelling where the world's at stake and all of that stuff, that was my kind of bag. So when I saw Samurai Jack, I was like, yeah, this is more about Dragon Ball Z-esque. So let's go for it. The story, like the chronological ordering of the episodes, I definitely do agree with you with that because that was a pain because the episodes don't feel can't miss that way for me as a child, at least, because it's like, oh, I've missed one. Doesn't matter. I mean, they just fight, right? I'm gonna pick up another episode. But I was also watching stuff like Courage the Cowardly Dog, Invader Zim. Really?
Courage is scary, man.
Well, that's why I liked it.
Scary. It was so scary, man. Oh.
Like, there was one episode with some duck alien that kidnapped the entire family.
Man, I couldn't do it. Courage is scary, man. I can watch it now. It's fine, but like back then, even the animation style was scary. No, I can't do it, man.
Oh, I loved it. There was so much charm to it. And especially because Scooby-Doo was up around the same time as well. So it was just, well, this is just cooler Scooby-Doo. I'm just gonna watch this.
We've got dogs. We've got scary things in it. That was good.
It's good. I mean, we could go into a lot of the stuff that you do cover, because it's not just gaming with the Nerd Council. It is comics. It is anime. When it comes to anime, what is your top tier?
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the best anime.
See, this is why we're bros. Like,
it's perfect. One. It has no flaws. Character development is A1. Diversity is A1. Storytelling is A1. World building is A1. Villain is A1. Animation style is A1. Everything is A1. The music is A1. Like, the font is A1. The color grading is A1. The lighting is A1. The shadow work is A1. Pixar is A1. I cannot, for the life of me, fault that anime. I've tried so hard to try and find things that are wrong with the show, but it's generally perfect. And I don't say that about a lot of things. In fact, I don't say about anything really, but it's perfect. And I know this whole debate where it's like everyone's like, oh, you're only saying that because it's on, the top list, or everyone's like anime list, and but it's there for a reason. Right?
Yeah.
It's there for a reason. And I get it. People love like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and all these other ones and Bleach and don't get me wrong, they're great shows. But like it's just even the number of episodes, 52 episodes, perfect. Like it's just perfect. Like you can't. I would implore anyone to try and find an issue with that show.
So
I guarantee you can't find one.
So Isaac and I were talking about this a while ago. And I love Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and he's one of those people that just doesn't like it. And I think his explanation was it was either too slow, or I think he doesn't like the fact that there's not that much combat in it. I think that's what it is. And I get that. I mean, I think it's secondary. I think a better story with minimal combat is better than a bad story with a lot of combat, because that's just Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, right.
Why is it taking you 3 episodes to Kamehameha? Like, why is it taking you 6 episodes to go Super Saiyan? I don't understand. Like, tell me, get to the thing already, man. Like, bloody hell.
Ages so poorly. So bad. Rewatching now as an adult, it's so bad. But I 100% agree. We don't have time to binge stuff anymore. 50 episodes is like the perfect,
the perfect amount of episodes.
Watch it. Get on with your life. The story, and again, this goes back to the story that you like in games. Everything kind of serves the purpose of the story, which is why I didn't like the original Full Metal Alchemist, because it felt like at a certain point it was like, okay, let's just wrap this up. So
and it's not bad either, but it's just like it just felt very rushed near the end, and there was a lot of story plot holes as well, like too many, in my opinion, as well. And obviously, there's always the thing that Brotherhood is true to the manga, which is always good, but like I think it's slightly better than the manga as well, in my opinion. I think just the way the storytelling happens, because mangas are long, isn't it? Mangas are long in itself. They're books, they're comic books, right? They spend more time, doing stuff. But the way things are done in Brotherhood, it's not like things are skipped over for the sake of being skipped over. Right. It's just like it gets to the meat and veg.
It's perfect pacing.
There we go. Yeah, yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that, because after the end of Full Metal Alchemist OG, 2003 or whenever, I was really bummed out. and then someone told me, "Oh, there's a manga." So I actually got into manga through Full Metal Alchemist. Read it. I thought it was the most complete story I've ever read. So good. I found out a woman wrote it, and I love it even more.
Yeah.
Writing shonen better than any man has.
There was something to be said about a lot of the best, anime shows are written by women. Like that's.
I think it's because male shonen writers don't know how to write women.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's what it is.
If we look at Naruto, which is one of the all-timers, Sakura, Tsunade, just left by the wayside.
Tenten, Dundee.
She has one of the greatest jutsus. Hinata, the main line who
Dundee. Everyone Dundee.
Let's not even get into the Dragon Ball issue of writing women.
Not even gonna play that one.
So bad. You can make an argument for One Piece. They've done the best job out of the big three, I'd say.
Ooh, okay. Wait. When we say the big three,
I'm including Dragon Ball and knocking out Bleach for that. Hey, Bleach is nice, but it's comfortably fourth.
No. We all know the big three is Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. That is.
I can't believe
the big three. It doesn't change. It doesn't shift. It doesn't get. That is the big three. Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball is on its own, but the big three, we know. Let's not do this, Andy. We know.
Okay.
Big three.
You are technically correct.
Okay.
But for the purpose of, if I ask a random person, name me 3 anime, I mean, 7 times out of 10.
Name me 3 anime, then let's name me the big three. And they're called the big three.
Okay, big three is a colloquialism. Personally, it's a Blackamura.
Just
it's like Blackamura colloquialism. Yes.
It's all right. Keep spitting them. It's all right.
Dragon Ball is before those 3 anyway, so it would be the generation before.
I wouldn't leave this podcast.
No, it is though. It's like 80s.
Okay, yeah, that was right. Okay,
like in terms of when it was released, it was 80s, and then Naruto, One Piece, and I think Bleach 90s. So
yeah, Bleach is Bleach 90s.
I think
early 2000s.
Ooh,
I feel like it's early 2000s. I think it's like 2. Remember 2002, 2004.
2001. Yeah, you're right. Early 90s. Okay, cool. Do you think Bleach has done well writing with female characters?
Yes, I think Bleach is one of the better shows when it comes to writing female characters. Even if they do kind of like Bleach sips in like the occasional like adult joke here and there, or like how do I want to put this, like not R-rated, but like maybe the adult, like I said, adult joke here and there. But like in terms of like female characters who aren't talking about male characters or who have their own autonomy or are represented well, Bleach does a very good job. I think Bleach does a very good job. We have Yoruichi, Orihime not so much. Orihime is very much like outlier to all, but I think yeah, I mean like you look at the female characters in the Espada Saga, even along the 13 Court Guards, like I think they're done very well. Like they're not weak. They're not just cannon for them either. Like they're pretty badass. So better job than Naruto anyway.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean that's a very low bar to clear, but they do clear it.
One Piece is definitely done a better job out of the lot. I would say. I would say.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't like Orihime, just 2D, but Rukia is written pretty well. I would say I like her. One Piece has done the best job, I would say, when you look at Nami, Robin, and even Vivi, Alabasta Arc. There's a lot of fleshing out and 3D building. Don't 100% agree with everyone, but like you can see where everyone's coming from. I mean, the all long arcs, so good.
Yeah. Where are you at with One Piece at the moment?
With One Piece, I've just finished the horrible Punk Hazard arc, and I'm now with the Dog Flamingo, so I'm about 700 chapters in.
You're reading it?
Yeah, I'm reading it. I'm not watching. I can't.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to finish Dressrosa. I don't think I'm ever going to finish it.
Really? Are you watching or reading?
I'm watching it. I'm not reading One Piece. I wasn't one of the people that started reading One Piece. I'm watching it. So, and I've been watching it over the years in bits. And Dressrosa is just so long, man. Like there was like 4 episodes for like one punch, and it's like I don't understand. Like, what?
I mean, people chat about Dragon Ball Z, but that's sounding very
my gosh,
peak 90s Toei.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, just read the manga, read the manga." Like, I've gotten this far in the anime. I might as well just finish the anime.
I'm one of those converted people though, and I would never go back. Like watching One Piece it's not it. The recap.
Oh god, it's like what 3 minutes on the intro, you know, and then the recap as well. And it's like okay, and then it's like an advert gap bit in the middle, and then 5 minutes in the outro. So then what's left for the episode, bruv? Like
it's smart.
It's like 10 minutes. Like 10 minutes
of new content. I think I switched over around Gecko Moria. Or I know the really good one, Marineford, was like the first arc I fully just read. So good. I wouldn't go back just because Oda is great, but there's some arcs that are either paced poorly or there isn't a satisfying payoff. Like Fishman Island. You can tell straight away. Yeah. There's no suspense because you can tell straight away. Even Sanji is wiping the floor with flipping Hody Jones. So what are we doing here? Can we skip this?
Can we please just
It's not like the first. I'm getting into One Piece heavy here. Not like the first few arcs where it's just like world building, like Don Krieg, who is obviously a waste of space, but like it's not meant to be a very serious world at stake kind of anime at that point. So you can live through like the Captain Kuro stuff and all of that stuff where Arlong is like the first real suspense-filled arc where it's like, oh, can Luffy beat this guy? But like with Punk Hazard and Fishman Island, it's just what are we doing here? This could be cut. These could be movies.
Oh god.
We have extensively spoken to the mastermind behind the Nerd Council and covered so many topics, but I'm sure people are going to want to know more about you. Where can they follow the Nerd Council?
Facebook, MySpace, Bebo, Habit Hotel. No, I'm joking. So we are mainly on Twitter, so at the Nerd Council _ TikTok, Instagram at the Nerd Council, the Nerd Council.co.uk. We have a website. For the podcast, just search the Nerd Council, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, we're all over there. I mean, like I said, we have a website. If you really want to find us or find out more about us and what we do, the nerdcouncil.co.uk has the links to everything. Go from there. As for myself, no, do not come and follow me on Twitter. Don't follow me on Instagram.
That's my favorite thing.
No, just don't do it. Just don't do it. But yeah, head to the website and check us out there. But like I said, we've got stuff coming up this year that I'm really excited about. Already planning, which should be good. And more events happening throughout the year. So please check us out and be on the lookout for that.
Sure, yeah. Thank you very much for joining me, Timi.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Andy, for having me.
Of course. And of course, you can keep up with the Streamcast by following us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Streamcast_. Subscribe on youtube.com/Streamcast. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching us. Leave a comment. Tell us whether you like anything that we've said here today. Do you have a top 5 in your gaming list? Do you agree with Timi? Fable 2, Kingdom Hearts 2, God of War, Ragnarok? Come on, surely.
Perfect list. Perfect list. No changes.
Do you agree with Timi that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a perfect anime? Let's get that going. And if you like to listen to your podcast while you're on a commute or you're working or you're cleaning or something, we're on all the major audio-only platforms, including Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And you can check us out on our website, thestreamcast.co.uk. You can actually watch our streams there, watch all of our YouTube videos, listen to our pods there, and read our gaming blogs. We have a Twitch channel, Streamcast TV. Make sure to follow us there. I think that's everything.
Listen, you're trying to do everything. Like, have a cover the Twitch, have a cover the YouTube.
Yep. Anything else, go to the website because it's covered there. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Streamcast if you want to go above and beyond and support the Streamcast even more. There's all the information on that link. But that's going to do it. So please take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Thanks again, Timi, for jumping on the pod.
You're very welcome.
We'll see you on the next Streamcast.